Well, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing Rocky 2. This is the Blu-ray box set that I have for the 40th anniversary. So Rocky 2. Rocky 2 starts off with the fights from the first film. Then you go to Rocky and Apollo in the hospital there. It's changing words. Now, Rocky, he had a very, he didn't, I can't talk today, but his eye was damaged and he really doesn't think he can fight anymore. And Adrian, she doesn't think he can either. Well, as throughout the film, you can tell Rocky is starting to believe more and more that his fate and what he's made to do is box. And he finally, comes to that realization. And I love that. That he is born a fighter. That's what he's supposed to do. Love that scene, by the way. Rocky 2 is just as good, just as iconic as the first one. And that's my opinion. It's just as good. I would say it's just as good. Rocky, he gets married to Adrian in this one. Like I said, he's trying to overcome stuff. He's trying to see if he can do other things than box. And clearly that doesn't work out for him because that's not him. He has a baby in this. And, things are really looking good for Rocky in this. And he wins, and, he wins the fight at the end of the film. Love that fight. Love the training montage too for Rocky. This is really Rocky's come up. This is really Rocky's come up. You see him buying a car, a jacket, watches, stuff for the dog. Like, you see, like, this is really his come up. Like, he basically made it in this one. That's what he always wanted. And I love the tiger jacket Rocky wore. I want that jacket. Like, I really want that jacket. That jacket is my style, by the way. So, Rocky 2, like I said, it's, Paulo wants a rematch. Paulo really doesn't feel right about what happens. Paulo wants a rematch, and Rocky, you know, decides to do the rematch because boxing is really all he knows and really that's really what he's used to, and that's his niche, and that's what he's made to do, you know. So Rocky 2, what do I think of Rocky 2? As I said, it's just as good as the first one. I think it packs more of a punch in that, the first one was really Rocky trying to prove and just trying to be something he always wanted to be, and um, just trying to live, you know what I mean? And so many other things. And then this one, Rocky 2, he gets that. But at the same time, he has to come through everything and then eventually accept that this is what he is. He's a fighter, and he eventually accepts that. I think it works perfectly. And Sylvester Stallone, he directed this one, and he did a good job directing this one. Obviously he's the writer on this. He also directed this one. And I want to say he did a good job because it feels like, obviously, the first one, I think that's very, pretty good. That it feels like the original. And again, I love the training montage. It's very, very similar to the first one. But you have to notice something like in the first one, like when he was like running through the streets of Philadelphia, he really didn't have people cheering him on or running behind him. In Rocky 2, people are cheering him on. They are running behind him. You know what I mean? They're cheering his name. And so, he has a name now. And Rocky 2, this is just a perfect Rocky film, in my opinion. It's just as good as the first one. And, that's the thing. Rocky 2 don't get enough appreciation for some reason. You don't hear a lot of people talking about Rocky 2. I don't, at least. You don't hear a lot of people talking about Rocky 2. And, Rocky 2 is just as good as the first one. The training montage is good. The fight scene at the end is good. And, this is really Rocky accepting who he is. You know, like in Rocky 1, it was him about, you know, it was him trying to get there. Then in this, he got there and he had to accept that. You know what I mean? Before he continued on. You know what I mean? I just love Rocky 2. I love Rocky 2. I love Rocky 2 just as much as I love the first one. Love Rocky 2. As I said, just I just can't talk today. Just as much as I do as the first one. And I think it's very entertaining. It does not disappoint. It is worth every minute of a watch, in my opinion, and it's very true to the original. And to me, and to Rocky 2, in my opinion, does something that a lot of sequels do, and that's a good thing. Well, I won't say a lot. There's a few. Rocky 2, obviously that's what we are reviewing, but the sequels that do it right. Rocky 2, Child's Play 2, and Terminator 2, all the three big sequels from big franchises that I could think of. Even Fast and the Furious 2, I think. You know, Rocky 2, Child's Play 2, Terminator 2, and Fast and Furious 2, they go bigger, they go bang, they go bigger, badder, 10 times better. They top the original, but they keep the core values, they keep intact the tone, the vibe, and what makes the original special. You know what I mean? And again, Rocky 2 is one of those sequels that does that. And no one really talks about that. You know, Rocky 2 is one of the sequels that did it before Terminator 2, did it before Child's Play 2, did it before, Fast and Furious 2. You know, Rocky 2 is one of those sequels that came out bigger, badder, better at top of the original. It had a message to tell as well. You know, it was very impactful. It packed a punch, but it kept the core values and kept what made the first one special, in my opinion. And that's really hard to pull off for some sequels. But Rocky 2 is the first sequel to actually do that, in my opinion. Rocky 2, maybe, it's really hard to say. Like, it's really hard to pinpoint what's the best one in the franchise. But I say Rocky 2 is probably, I don't know. You just have to see when I rank all of these very soon, where does Rocky 2 land? Because y'all may be surprised where Rocky 2 actually lands. But Rocky 2, that was my review for Rocky 2. I think this is a solid, well-made sequel, one of the best movie sequels ever. One of the best movies, has the best score, the best story, the best everything. It's just a perfect film overall, and you need to check out this film. So if you haven't seen Rocky 2, you need to check this film out immediately. And if you enjoyed the video, why not smack that like button and subscribe if you're a first time viewer, and hit that notification bell. I'll catch everyone in the next video.